Not a test.
Let's get ready to rumble! He holding a rock, told it a block, oh, you fired to my town. They said the game will mold ya. From a rookie to a veteran, with me I'm not settling. Perfection gets me crowned in the ground, starts to crumble. You can have it until you lose it. Established and proven, unions a movement. AIDS on the beat, got souls on the thoughts. Wind beneath my wings, raise hell with these books. Collision course when I fall, and now I'm going off. And if your boys run your mouth, I'm like Vic and all your dog. Co-pilot on this ride, where we're going tomorrow.
We are here spitting with Spitter Wednesday night. Before we get the show started, I want to shout out the good folks at the Average Joe basketball tournament. It's coming up next month, June 3rd through 5th. Contact Chuck Rockmore, Mike Pena. I believe that they're not accepting any more teams, but come out. It's going to be a great event outdoors. Summer basketball has started. My guest, the OG, the official Unk, Jules, what's happening, my guy?
Ain't shit. What's up, man?
It's probably the safest way to do a podcast is with you driving. I love it.
I got my seatbelt on. Definitely that.
So I wanted to get you on because NBA basketball is rapidly approaching its end of its season. Summer leagues are about to start. AAU is in full force. And you just started an AAU basketball team, the Lehigh Valley Swarm.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man, there's a lot going on right now. Actually, summer league, high school summer league started last night.
Yeah.
For the varsity level, they started last night. A lot of the AAU already started, so we're kind of getting in there late, but we're gonna, pretty much get enough in, satisfy the program for the season. I don't even want to talk about NBA and my Sixers. It was just disgusting.
We're getting into it, sir. I hate to tell you, we're getting into it.
Terrible. That trade didn't work out.
No, it didn't. But to kick it off with AAU, what made you want to? You've coached on every level. What made you want to start an AAU team?
What made me want to start it was a lot of the programs around the area. A lot of the families couldn't afford.
Right.
And it was a lot of, with social media, it was a lot of people complaining and talking about how it was too much. And, their kids still they love the game. They want to play. It was just, they couldn't afford it. And I get it. So at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and put something together real quick and make it affordable for those families who couldn't afford it. So the way I did it was, I kept my price at $450, and you only had to pay $250 up front as a deposit once you made the team, and then you did a fundraiser to get the other $200. So basically, if you sold 10 T-shirts or 15 T-shirts or whatever at $20, your other half was being paid. So somebody else was paying that. Other people were paying that for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Some people chose to pay it on their own. However it worked, I was given that option for people to do it that way, to make it a little lighter on the families or whatever that couldn't afford it. So we ended up coming out of it with 3 teams. We got what is the 10th grade team? We got an 8th grade team and a 7th grade team.
Okay.
No, excuse me. 10th grade team, 7th grade team, and a 6th grade team.
What's the average going rate for an AAU team? Was it like $850?
Can you hear me?
No, go ahead. I'm here.
Yeah, I don't know.
It looks like you're freezing up.
All right.
There you go.
You there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yo.
Yeah, there we go. So what's the average price for a normal AAU organization to join?
All right, your thing froze up. What was that question again?
What's the average price for a AAU team to join?
The average price, it varies, man. It all basically depends on the level of competition, you know, the creator of the organization, whatever they decide as far as like what they feel. Because some people charge more because they have to rent out facilities. You know what I mean? They got to rent out gyms. I mean, right now the average price is anywhere from, I think, like outside of us, I believe I'm the lowest at 450, but from what I'm hearing, 650 to 1200.
Wow.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
pretty much, it's all about what the parent can afford and if they feel like it's, worth it. And our whole thing is like, we're not doing a hell of a lot of traveling. Like we're staying pretty much local. I think the furthest we go is Spittin, and further south is Downingtown, right outside of Philadelphia. So
Right.
that's basically the furthest we're going, in PA. Then we got Kutztown. We got a couple other tournaments in the area. So, you're not paying basically an astronomical price for these small tournaments. So that's why I said it. That's why I kept it. I don't know. It's a good competition. But it can get pricey, bro. It can definitely get pricey for some of these people.
What are the? I don't know if you can hear me because your phone looks a little choppy right now. There we go.
It looks clear on my end.
Right,
You good?
Yeah. What
Go ahead.
Because you bouncing through towers driving, but now I would like to know what's the advantages of playing AAU over high school basketball?
In today's world, AAU is where you pretty much getting your notoriety. You're getting it's supposed to be, and it's only been to get to a certain level. Like AAU middle school, elementary to middle school, it's just playing basketball. You're not getting recruited. You're not getting seen by nobody, and that's where a lot of, these organizations confuse these parents. Like, for some reason they feel like they go into these big name tournaments, like there's going to be some D1 coaches there, D1, D2, D3. It's not going to happen. They're not. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, playing high school in any sport, to be honest with you, is just playing. Because nowadays, majority of the recruiting comes off the AAU circuits with the majority of all sports, travel circuits. You know what I mean?
Right.
I know even in soccer, like my daughter, most of her teams getting recruited based off of travel, off their, travel program, the AAU program. It's not off of high school. It's not like back in the day where because then we didn't have all these high school. I mean, we didn't have all these AAU programs and stuff like that. You might have had one in the area, something like that. But now they're everywhere. We got how many in the Valley? There's so many we got in the Valley. So it's like you never know. To me, it is basically AAU is where your recruiting comes from.
Yeah, back in the day, before AAU even hit, you had to be 1,000-point scorer, a phenom in high school to even be considered looked at.
Right. See, back in the day, even when I played, it was like somebody was coming to the area looking for a certain person to play. You know what I mean?
Right.
It wasn't just, okay, can you afford to pay this? Okay, you can play. You know what I mean? That's basically what it is now. Back in the day, it was like somebody came from out of town or up from Philly or Jersey or, hey, you know what I mean? Like they saw you playing in a high school game or they heard about you. They came out to check you out. Now they're trying to recruit you for their AAU program.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now it's a little different.
It's different now for sure. I mean, my nephew, he just turned 15. He travels all over playing AAU.
Right.
It's crazy. I mean, they went from here to Virginia and back. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I don't like traveling that much.
they pretty much be everywhere. Like I said, that depends on the level of program you have when it comes to this AAU thing. Like now, am I going to Virginia or Florida or wherever to get my ass whooped? I don't want to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you demoralize the kids, and you know what I mean. They're not. Listen. Take me somewhere where I can compete. I don't got to win all the time. I want to compete and get better. You know what I mean?
Right.
Don't put me in tournaments where I'm going to get my ass kicked by 30, 40, 3 times on one weekend. Nah, that's not good. That's not, what's the point? Just to say, hey, I was in this tournament. I was in this, you know what I mean? Like, no.
Yeah. At the end of the day, the goal is for the kids to have fun and get better. I get it. I get it. AAU's big business now, but like primarily, I want to see the kids develop. You know what I mean?
Right.
Especially in the middle school years where, like, let's be honest, these kids ain't even really listening to coaches anymore. They're watching YouTube clips of content creators on how to play basketball.
Yes, it's so much training going on. Like there's no real, and I get it. If you're gonna train, that's cool, but you gotta play basketball.
Right.
You get better by playing basketball. And one thing is lacking big time now is the blacktop play. You know, and it's not just high school summer league. It's more of playing street ball, playing pickup, playing rec. You know what I mean? Yeah. But a lot of kids don't want to risk maybe getting hurt, or they just feel like they'd rather just train.
Man, listen, when I was coming up, you could catch us either at the youth center or the high school every day playing, running pickup.
Every day. Every park, everywhere. Yeah. Now you go by the parks,
empty.
Empty. You know what I mean? Like it didn't matter. Like we would be at the park right now hooping.
Yeah.
Until the lights came on.
Exactly.
Like now, they're not playing no ball. But like I said, it's AAU season, so everybody's playing somewhere this weekend, and that's all they're waiting on.
Right.
So
now let's get to the talk that I've been waiting to have this conversation with you for all season. What happened to your Sixers, bro?
What? Oh man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm more of a realist. I'm old school, as you already know. So when it comes to this basketball today, first of all, I don't really like it, but it is what it is. I just think that, there was no heart. They played with no heart. There was no heart. There was no determination. There was no nothing. And, you saw it in Embiid's face. I mean, everything about him was just down. You didn't get the MVP. Okay, now you're supposed to come out and show the world why you should have got the MVP.
Right.
He came out and proved the voters correct.
Yeah, for sure he did.
He came out and proved the voters correct. Like, even his, everything, his emotion, everything. You know what I mean? He didn't, I honestly probably can count on my hands how many times he posted up and wanted the ball on the block where he could have dominated because Miami's so small. But no, he chose to be at the 3-point line, which in a way it's got something to do with Doc's, game plan, But I'm like, dude, they're sticking a 6-foot guard on Embiid at the top of the key because they know once he catches it there, he wants to put it on the floor and try to dribble between his legs, try to spin move, try to get to the bucket from out there. But yet, this little guard is quicker than him. So as soon as you put it down, he's coming to get it.
Right.
And it gave Embiid a lot of problems. We just didn't look good at all.
No.
We got that one big win, which was great. And for some reason, I mean, I can't stand Danny Green. Like I'm not a Danny Green fan. You know what I mean? And it's not that I can't stand him. No, I'm lying. I can't stand him. I was gonna say not that I can't stand him at all, but I can't. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, when he went out, when he got hurt, it was over for us. because he happened to be cooking that game.
Right.
It's 7-3. Like, he happened to be really playing basketball. And I'm like, okay. And then he gets hurt. So once he got hurt, it was like really over for us. So
how you feel about Doc Rivers as a coach and the criticism he takes that he can't close out a series to save his life? And I mean, to be honest, let's be clear, he can't. I've been watching Doc for a long time. And
I'm about to say, yeah, he proven he can't. You know, so what's proven is truth. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, he proven he can't. My whole thing is, like I said, me being old school, I root for Doc. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. Me too.
But I want to see him get that monkey off his back. I want to see, because I just think he's a good basketball mind. He's a good coach. But and coaching in today's game is different if you don't adjust to what you have.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if you don't coach to what you have, you know, you're going to look bad. You know, Larry Brown went through it. You know, Brett Brown was just stuck because we were in the process. So he was just stuck. So
yeah,
at the end of the day, you know, like I said, I root for Doc. I want to see him win. But it's like, maybe this era is just not for him.
It's rough. And I'm not saying I'm the greatest basketball mind, but I've been around the game for a long time. It's hard watching him coach the game and not make the right adjustments.
Right. And that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? As it's happening, like, you got guys out there tanking, get them out of the game. You got guys out there beating feet on defense, get them out of the game.
Bro, we were the slowest team in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, how are you supposed to be competing for a championship, but you're the slowest team on the court in the playoffs?
Right.
Like, no idea what the hell happened to James Harden. I don't even know. You know, we got Niang, who's slow as shit. You know, Danny Green's already slow. And if those two aren't hitting jump shots, hitting threes, what good are you to us? You know?
Right.
And at the end of the day, our bench was terrible.
Yeah.
You know, our bench was horrible. And we gave up, you know, two great pieces to get James Harden.
Yeah.
You know, and at first I thought, okay, I'm going to live with it. Let's see what happens. But as you watch games in, it's like, well, this dude is not trying to be the James Harden of what we need him to be.
Yeah.
You know?
So what do you think? Where was that disconnect? I mean, is it because he got traded halfway through the season and the chemistry really wasn't there?
I mean, at the end of the day, no matter when you get traded, you're supposed to come in playing hard.
That's it.
It don't matter if you get traded the last goddamn day of the season. You're supposed to come in playing hard. You're getting paid millions and millions of dollars. Come in playing hard, finish out whatever it is. We'll handle everything else in the offseason. So now what they're saying is basically like, he didn't like Doc Rivers, da-da-da-da. I'm like, you know what?
Then why go?
And not only that, like, bro, you don't like any coach you played under so far.
Right.
Like, so, you know, it's like, when are you going to realize it might be you? It might not be the coaches. It might be you. You know? So I think with that whole thing, I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, I'm willing to give Harden a whole offseason, training camp, blah, 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 see what he does coming in, because he did come late. You know what I mean? I don't know where his head was at with the whole situation, but all right, I don't think we got a full James Harden. So next season, we're going to get a full James Harden. I mean, I don't know who else is going to be there, but I know we got a lot of changes to make.
Yeah, for sure. You think they're going to get rid of Doc?
No, they already announced that Doc's coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maury already announced that Doc's coming back. And like I said, it's cool, but I'm like this, TJ. At some point in any sport, the players got to take responsibilities for what goes on out there.
Absolutely.
You feel me? Coach can't shoot. Coach ain't making foul shots. Coach ain't playing defense. Coach ain't, you know, at the least, defense, you got to want to be a good defender. It's in your heart. It's a heart thing. You can't nobody teach you how to be a defender. You got to want to do it. And watching a lot of that, the last two games, Sixers didn't want to play defense. They was not playing defense at all. You know what I mean?
Like you said about that, and this is what hurt me. And I'm not even a Sixers fan. Like, I'm a Chicago Bulls Mike fan from a little kid. So now it's just like I kind of just watch players that I like. You know what I mean? Like the Bulls games aren't really televised up here. I'm not getting the league pass.
Right.
But my thing with Harden, or not Harden, with Embiid is the competitive spirit. Like you said, all right, you got Nick Stone, the MVP. Come out and kill everything the next game.
Mm-hmm.
You're clearly capable.
Right.
Clearly capable.
It was close for a reason.
Right. I do like the Maxey kid though.
Oh yeah. He's and the thing with him is he's not really ready to lead a team yet.
No.
Yeah, he's not ready to be that number 2.
But you can see it though.
But that boy is better than 90% of the league's number 3s.
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And
He's a dog.
When Harden was not hooping, he was the number 2. And there's been times where he was number 1, but that was just based off of matchups. You know?
Right.
But like I said, you know, the kid is special. And I wasn't sold on him because I didn't watch a lot of Kentucky basketball.
Right.
So I wasn't really sold on him coming out of the draft. But
Sure.
bro, that kid, I was like, but see, and that's another thing. Like when Harden wasn't hooping that last game and B wasn't hooping, Maxey didn't come through. So it's like, you know, you can see that he's really not ready to do that yet.
No, there's still some growth to be had there.
Yeah, there's definitely some growth to be had there. And I mean, at the end of the day, as soon as we lost, he said it. He's like, you know, like he was upset. He was pissed off. And that's one thing I like about him, that he has that fire to get better. You know what I mean? Because he wants to win. You got some guys in the league that just, they lose. It's like, all right, well, I get a paycheck. I got a nice paycheck. I'm good. You know?
Right.
And I feel like, you know, with Harden, that's where he's at in his career. You know, you don't take emotion to losing, like, especially when you know you should have won. Like, are you serious? And get it. And B was out for 2 games, but damn, we came back and tied this thing up. You know?
Yeah.
And we just get blown the hell out the next 2 games. No.
That right there should just be the hunger to win even more.
Definitely.
You know. So how do you feel about the Phoenix Suns and Chris Paul?
It's another one. Being old school, the way Chris Paul plays the true point guard position. Yeah, I mean, just I rooted for him. Yeah, I mean, I'm like, I want this guy to win one, man, because he's just been going through it, you know. But
I've been following Chris Paul. I remember the newspaper article. His grandfather died, and he dropped whatever
61.
age, 61.
Yep.
And he could have shot the foul shot to get 62. He walked off.
He missed it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I've been following that kid ever since. So I want Chris Paul, and the fact that he's a true point guard, assist first, defense, you know.
You know, a lot of people bash Chris. I mean, yeah, they bashing Chris Paul because he lost Game 7, 3 times, 4 times, or whatever.
Right.
But in order to get there, like, he's been great. His career's been great. Like that shit Patrick Beverly was talking. I love Patrick Beverly for his demeanor on the court. Like, he's a fucking animal. He'll go hard playing defense, but he's a hack. He's a hack. He fouls a lot. You know what I mean? So it's not that he's playing lockdown defense. You hacking. But I like him because he don't give a damn. And you need that type of player on your team. But to go and disrespect Chris Paul and talking about he's a cone, he can't guard nobody. First of all, Chris Paul's 37?
Yeah.
Been in the league 20 years. Like, my guy, you better pray that you have a quarter of the freaking career that this guy had.
Yes. I didn't like that shit.
And not to mention, Chris Paul bust your ass.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So he bust your ass when y'all play. So at the end of the day, you know, but that's just Beverly being Beverly, you know?
Yeah. I think there's a time and place for everything, though. You hop on national TV to take shots at somebody is not necessarily a good look. That's the equivalent to I'm going to hop on Facebook and talk shit about somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but when you see him on the court, he dogging you.
He fucking you up. And that's the thing, too. Like, at the end of the day, like, but I root for him. And I think Chris Paul would have had a chip already if it wasn't for injuries. But, you know, that's part of the game. So it happens, you know. But I don't know if Phoenix will be able to get back there next year. I don't even know if Phoenix will be able to get back there at all with Chris Paul. I mean, Chris might have to leave Phoenix, you know. I mean, he probably has about another year or 2 in the league. You know, if he doesn't get it, well, he's healthy now. No, they said he had a quad injury that whole game. So who knows? You know,
Right.
it might be it for him. Next year might be it. But whatever, he's down to his final chance. Now, the only thing I can say with him is he'd have to go to a high contender where he doesn't have to shoulder the load.
Right.
You know, not that he's going to come off the bench. He's definitely not coming off nobody's bench. You know, but, you know, shit. And I just think, like, when them guys get to that certain age, like Chris Paul and all them, it's like they need to go to a team where they can just help win a chip.
Yeah.
But you can't go to a team that's rebuilding or young because they're not going to play your style. You know what I mean? Like, he got that over with Phoenix because Phoenix was super young. All them guys were super young. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, he was able to coach them and, you know, do what he had to do. But if you got some guys that are, you know, young but veterans that have been in the league 4 or 5 years, they're not going to want to play your style of basketball. You know what I mean?
No.
They're not going to want to, you know,
Chris
look at
Paul
Luka.
definitely slows the game down. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And we're in the era of run and gun now. So
Now, the thing is, like, I seen Chris Paul we all seen it, put up some amazing numbers at the end of the season. 30 here, 19 in the fourth. Like, he had a hell of a series to a certain point. So, you know, like I said, the only teams that were still built like that was probably the Spurs. Not this year, not the last couple of years, but when Duncan and them played, a lot of guys went there to help win a chip.
Right.
You know, they weren't going over there thinking they were taking them to the chip because it wasn't going to happen. And first of all, Pop's ain't going for that. But I don't know.
You think Pops is the best coach of all time?
The greatest coach of all time, Popovich. That's tough. That's tough.
I mean, we got Phil, we got Riley. There's some other contenders, but I mean, consistent.
I don't think neither one of them fuck with Pops when it comes to being on the list of, you know, where they would rank. I don't think either one of them would be above Pop. Yeah, I mean, because Riley was a great coach with the Lakers, but at the end of the day, he stopped coaching how many years ago? You know what I mean? So in today's era, like, was he able to get it done now? We don't know because he didn't coach. Yeah, I mean, he did coach a young D Wade and them boys. You know, I mean, actually, he got to the chip the day that when he fired Van Gundy. That same year, he ended up getting to the chip, and he won a chip. So, but that was after that was it. But you know, he still got Red Auerbach. You know, so it's like, can you put Pop above him? You know, the man got what, 13 titles, 16 titles, something like that. Like, that's crazy. You know, but Pop was in different eras, 2 different eras of basketball. But like I said, he's still the greatest coach because he stuck to his philosophy and he did it his way. And you either came in there and you bought in or you didn't play for him. Because Pop was quick to tell you, you're not coming over here to get 30. You know what I mean? I don't care who you are. If you feel like you need to come over here and get 25 to 30 points every game, you go play somewhere else. But you think about it, the Spurs never had the same guy lead them in scoring.
No.
You know what I mean? It was always somebody different.
It was
Tim Duncan. You know what I mean?
It was Tim Duncan. It was Dave Robinson. They were flim-flamming for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, and then you
Tony
had
Parker came into the mix.
Parker, yeah. So them dudes led games and weeks in scoring. You know what I mean? It would never be the same person. And then here comes a young Kawhi. You know, that's just the way it was. So that's the thing about Pop's system is anybody can give it to you. You never know.
I'm glad to see Lonnie's out there excelling.
Oh yeah,
playing high levels of basketball.
Yeah, and I think because I was looking at their free agency, he's up. I think he's earned his paycheck for next year is like 4-point-something million.
Right.
So he's coming up to his last year in his contract. So, you know, would I love to see Lonnie in Philly? Hell yeah. Because, like, between him and Maxey and the way Lonnie can get to the bucket and he can shoot it, you know what I mean? Like, we need another creator, you know?
Yeah.
We need another creator, you know? And people bitch about Tobias Harris, and Tobias didn't give us $88 million worth of basketball. But in the playoffs, if you look at Tobias in the playoffs, Tobias played very well. He played very well in the playoffs, offensively and defensively. But when you got Harden and Embiid not showing up, everybody's looking at Tobias like, well, you didn't do shit. Like, bro, I'm the fourth option on this team now. I did way more than I needed to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he's behind Harden. He's behind Embiid. He's behind Maxey, but he's in front of Danny Green, Niang, and then bench players. So at the end of the day, and he's above Thibault. So at the end of the day, it's like, I did my job. It just looked bad or didn't look great to y'all because the greater ones didn't perform.
Right.
Thibault, he couldn't go to Canada. And once that happened, I don't know what the hell happened in his game, even on defense. Like,
Yeah.
he just fell apart. So I don't know, man.
I'm listening to these talks and they're comparing two players. I need to know what you think about it. They're comparing a Ja Morant to a young Allen Iverson.
Ja Morant to a young Allen Iverson. Man, listen, Iverson changed the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Iverson changed the game. You know what I mean? Culturally, on the court. And don't get me wrong, Ja Morant's going to be great. You know what I mean? Hopefully you don't get injured too bad,
Right.
But with all that explosiveness, now he's more athletic than Iverson. Obviously, he's bigger than Iverson. He's more athletic, but the game is different. Like I said, the game is wide open.
Yeah.
If Iverson played today, he'll run people up and down the court for 40, 50. You know what I mean? No problem. But back then, Iverson was just the fast guy. The game was slower. It was played in the half court. You know what I mean? So he had to go up against trees, true centers. You know what I mean? True bigs in there. So he had to navigate his way through that paint to get to the bucket. Ja Morant, if you ever see him, like, he's attacking a bucket, there's probably one guy on him that he beat. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of activity in the paint waiting for him.
Yeah, he's already blown past his guy to get to the paint.
Right. And the offense is so spread out. You know what I mean? Nowadays, offenses are so spread out. There is no guys in the paint waiting for you. You feel me?
My brother, who is also a huge Philadelphia fan, just chimed in and said Iverson didn't need practice.
Yeah, we know that. We know that.
I think, again, the game's different, too. And Iverson, like, listen, all this hype about Iverson being 6'1", stop it. He was 5'11" with Tim's on.
If that. I ran into Iverson a couple of times. I used to go down to the Gotham.
Right.
And there was one night we were down there, and I ran into Iverson and Nas that night. They were both in there chilling next to each other. I walked right past them, didn't even know both from down there. And then my cousin was like, yo, it's like Nas over there. I was like, wait, I seen AI. He had a wife beater, the braids, and the long-ass chains with the 3 on it.
Right.
He had a wife beater on in the club. So arms long as shit. Like, I'm like, yo, this dude is long. His arms are long as shit. Right? But he was small. And then next one was Nas, who was just as short. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, these dudes is small. You know? But there was no way Iverson hit 6 foot.
No. That's like me saying I'm 6'1". No, and I'm a strong 5'11".
You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, and the NBA, they always lying on somebody's height.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
For sure.
They lie on your height. It's a bigger paycheck. So that's all it is.
How do you feel about Luka?
I'm actually a fan of Luka's. When Luka first came in the league, I think me and T were talking. We were talking, and he was saying, I asked him about Luka because Luka was playing overseas at the time. He was like, "Yo, kid's nice. Kid should be he should have been the number 1 pick." And I'm like, "Yeah, he's slow." You know what I mean? That probably kind of hurt his draft. You know what I mean? What was he, 2, 3? Like,
yeah.
So it was like keeping him from. There had to be something to keep him from being a number 1 pick.
Right.
Whether he was an overseas player, he just was slow. They didn't think that his game would transition to the NBA. But shit, Luka was playing against pros at 16, 17.
At that level.
He fucked the United States Olympic team up. Yeah, I mean, as a teenager. You know what I mean? So Luka could hoop. And I said it. I was like, yo, this kid can fucking ball. So, I can't go back on that because the kid definitely can hoop. I'm just not starting to like his attitude, the way he's
carrying himself
a lot on the court now. First of all, the motherfucker cries too much for me. He's always got his hands up, like everything's a foul.
A lot of players in today's era do that,
Yeah.
man.
He is horrible with it. Like every possession, he feels he gets fouled. He can shoot a wide open three and feel like somebody fucking fouled his ass. But you know what? It's the fact that he's so goddamn slow. Somebody ran by him 2 minutes ago, and he probably thinks they're still there. You know what I mean? Luka does not play defense. Everybody in the world knows it. So that's my thing when it comes to, great players. Like me, you got to play both ends to be considered a great player in my book. You know what I mean?
Right.
And even the other day, if you watched that Golden State after they won, they did the interview with Steph. And the dude basically was like saying to Steph, like, yeah, with with you being a great two-way player that you are, Steph was looking around like, talking to me? And then he was just started like cheering, like giving dude mad props because Steph was like, he knows I'm not a fucking two-way player. Like, no way in hell I play defense. But that's just,
Clay
like I
does though.
said, it's crazy. And like there's not too many two-way players in the league. Kawhi's still one of them. He's gonna play defense. Clay's gonna give you defense. He's a step slower.
Jimmy Butler's gonna give you defense.
Jimmy Butler's playing phenomenal right now. Like,
is it me or he doesn't even try playing until the playoffs start?
Yeah. Jimmy just be on chill mode. He be on chill mode. And my thing is, like, what I do like about some of these young guys in the NBA, they got a lot of heart and they're playing hard. And it's not that they don't, respect the older guys, but they coming out and playing ball, bro. Like there's nobody in the league except for the older generation. That's today's older generation in the league. Chris Paul, Carmelo, and all that. Like they're still in the fucking buddy system with LeBron.
Right.
All right. These younger kids don't respect LeBron. They don't give a fuck out there about LeBron. They're gonna respect your game, but don't think I'm gonna sit back here and just think, oh, that's LeBron. Yeah, no, I'm coming at you. You know what I mean? I'm a D. Like, I'm gonna play basketball. And there's been times where a lot of these kids is getting at LeBron.
Jason Tatum.
Yeah, they get at LeBron. Now, my thing is with LeBron obviously is a great player. You know what I mean? He's done a lot.
Sure.
He's proven himself to be great. But he's another one. He's a train. LeBron doesn't have too many offensive moves.
No.
I mean, he doesn't have, a great handle. He's power. You know what I mean? If he gets you going downhill, your ass is in trouble. Just like Giannis. If he gets you going downhill, you in trouble. But if you stop that and make them put on the floor, that secondary third, they don't have that move. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, these kids don't give a fuck. And LeBron, it's not like LeBron got a crazy handle where he could just shake you and lose you out there in the perimeter.
No.
So these kids don't give a fuck about that. They don't give a fuck about, okay, you LeBron, that's cool. You did your thing, that's cool.
Tatum does not. I've seen it time and time again. Tatum don't care who's guarding him.
Care.
He's going.
Yep. And there's a lot of kids in the league right now, that ball. They just don't have that name because of that class that's in front of them. But if you look, there's a lot of good young basketball players in the NBA right now.
Yeah, I think the league is in good hands.
Yeah.
Who do you got going to the finals?
Finals, I gotta say Golden State, and I think Boston.
You think Boston's gonna beat Miami?
Yeah, I think Boston's gonna end up beating Miami. As much as I hate to see it, I think they're gonna end up beating Miami.
You don't like Boston?
Nah, I'm a Sixer fan. Fuck no, I don't like Boston. I don't like them motherfuckers. Shit.
Before we get out of here, I want to bring up something else. You started the old school brunch.
Yeah.
Explain. It's funny because you be quiet for so long and then bam, AAU team, bam, throwing events on weekends.
Yeah.
And just a year ago now, I'm done with everything. You know what I mean?
I was done with everything. I wasn't doing shit, right? That's basically what the old school brunch is, man. Club owner reached out to me. It's like, listen, man, after coming out of COVID, everybody was suffering.
Right.
A lot of places are still suffering. So he was like, listen, I got a lot of open dates. you want to come back, you want to get back into it. And, I was doing events on the weekends at night, club events at night. But I was like, bro, like, I haven't done anything outside of my annual birthday party. I haven't done anything in about 5-6 years. So I was
Right.
like, bro, nah. I said, nah, I can't. Like, I'll be the one to not show up to my own fucking party because I'm gonna be asleep. Yeah, I mean, so I was just like, nah, I can't do that. So
Right.
sat on it for like a day or two, and I hit him back. I said, you know what? I said, I want to try something that, like DC, Delaware, Jersey, down Virginia, they do day party brunches.
Mm-hmm.
I have a cousin she runs her own bartending business down in Virginia. She's doing really well with it. She does a lot of day parties. So I was talking to her, and she's feeding me ideas about what to do, how to do it, boom, boom, boom. So I hit him back. I said, listen, man, I want to do day party brunches, but I want to do it for the older crowd, for the more mature, old school crowd, because we don't come out a lot. So
Right.
I was like, once a month, I'll do, these day parties, these brunches, and the first one I did, maybe 15, 20 people. I took a L on. Cool, no problem. I already knew that. Second one, maybe 30 people, 35 people, I think it was, somewhere around there. Still took a little L. No problem. I've been doing this so long, I already know what I'm in for.
Right.
Fourth one, as the word started getting out, boom. No, excuse me, third one, the word started getting out, and it was just like, okay, now we're over 50, 55 people. This past weekend, which was the fourth one, crowd was crazy. It was nice. You know what I mean? So it's growing. And my whole thing is every time I have one, it's pretty much I'm looking for new faces.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the new faces lets me know that, okay, it's growing. And I'll be honest with you, 90% of the people in there this time was all new faces.
That's dope. That's dope.
So, like I said, I do it once a month. And next month, actually, Father's Day, February 19th. I mean, goddamn. June 19th. June 19th is the next one. But I'm also adding a comedy show with it.
Okay.
So I'm trying to do something different all the time. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to come out. I'm gonna have to come out to the. I'm old, bro.
Yeah.
And like you said, if I'm not at work, I'm asleep.
Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, like I'll be the day of the brunch in the morning, I'll be like, damn, stressed, tired. I get up, we won't get over there. Once I'm in there, I'm like, okay, setting up, boom, good to go. The food, my caterer comes, she sets up, good to go. Once the people start flowing in, I'm good. But the minute that shit is over, bro, I'm tired as hell. I'm like, I'm just going home, go back to sleep. And that's what I do. I go back home and go back to sleep. Okay. But yeah, June 19th, Father's Day, like I said, I'm also incorporating a comedy show with it. And I'm going to be pre-selling tickets for this one because of the whole situation is going to be bigger. So I'm looking forward to that one. I have a bunch of amateur comedians that are on the up and up, looking to get notoriety, get their material out there. And I have a little cousin who is a comedian, a young amateur comedian, travels Philly, New York, Jersey, and he does a lot of the with open mics and stuff like that. So I always told him like I would put a show on for him that he could headline. So he's going to actually host the show.
Okay.
And also, in between he gets his little time too.
Right.
But it's going to be a really cool setup. I'm hoping a lot of people come out and enjoy it for Father's Day, and I'm trying to make it as like, maybe like, kids bring their fathers, because there's, the kids can come. It's a brunch. It's a day party. It's a day brunch. So kids can come, So I'm trying to get to do something like special geared towards the fathers.
Mm-hmm.
I missed Mother's Day. And the reason why I wanted to do Mother's Day weekend, but I couldn't because the actual mothers that work, the bartenders and the hostesses, they're like, we ain't working that day. So I was like, all right, whatever, cool. All right. So I pushed it to the 15th. But other than that, man, like I got, like I said, Chuck and Mike have the Average Joe tournament on June, what is it, 3rd and 4th?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine is the 4th and 5th my Ball to You Fall, the second annual Ball to You Fall women's tournament. And that's at executive. So I'm looking for a couple more teams to enter that tournament. It could be high school to adults, women. And then the following weekend, I believe, is the 12th, 13th, something like that, 11th, 12th, whatever. I have a co-ed softball tournament in Allentown that I'm looking for teams to enter that.
Okay.
But the weekend after that, I think I'm not doing anything in June. And then the following week after that, I got, wow, bro. Nope. Matter of fact, June 19th, I have the Father's Day brunch. I just got a lot going on right now.
And then June 25th, I think, starts the Valley League.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Starts the Valley League June 25th. So that'll be jumping. I think that they're 4 weeks, and then they go into like a tournament play.
Yeah.
You know, but I got something like I'm gonna have to come back on here with you. I just have a huge announcement I'm working on right now. It's 95% done, but I'm bringing it to Allentown, and it's something I think the city would love, and it's gonna be dope. We'll talk about it off camera, but like I said, we'll come back. Yeah, I mean, and that's August 20th is the date for that event,
Right.
and that's something that one of my old school friends from back in the day, who I haven't seen in 30 years. I ran into him and we were talking. He was telling me what he was doing, blah, 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 down in Reading, you know. And I was like, what? I was like, when did you get in that? Blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So he broke it down to me. He was like, listen, man. He said, I'm going to put you on in Allentown because I know you do events. He said, even though I haven't been around or we haven't seen each other, we haven't talked, I still know you do events. You know what I mean? He was like, so I want to, he said, I want to give you something to bring to Allentown that I do in Reading and Philly.
Right.
So that's something, like I said, we'll talk about that off camera, but it's coming. And I think it's going to be something big for the city of Allentown. And, it's more of a charity event. So
Nice.
hopefully,
Who's the one player you watching that's going to dominate these summer leagues this summer? There's always one.
One player that's going to dominate summer leagues? Well, I would only say the Valley League because I don't even think there's any more summer leagues out here.
Yeah, no, we'll keep it to the Valley League.
Yeah, I think they folded. I think the majority folded. Well, I believe Darren Hillier's coming back. I always got my money on Darnell. On Braswell. But I think Darren's coming back. The young boy Kevin from Delaware that played at Delaware. Kevin, I'm pretty sure he'll be here. And you still got your good, steady players that can go off at any time. Quindell, you know what I mean? Bryce from up in the Pocono area. Dudes like that, they'll give you a hot 25, 30, you know what I mean? Once they get the rolling.
Fast.
You know what I mean? And then, wow, bro. And there's I'm pretty sure there's going to be some new people, new kids coming out to hoop. We're going to see, man. And, obviously Tyrese is on his journey, hopefully, to the league. He got invited to the Combine, NBA. Yep. So hopefully, he'll focus on that and we won't see him in the Valley League.
He's been having one good showing after another. He had a good tournament, and now he had a good G League Combine.
So I think, as long as he focuses on that, I think that's where his head should be, because that could change his life. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That could change his life, Terrence, I don't think Terrence is playing the Valley League. I don't think Terrence is pretty much hooping too much as like he used to. I don't know if he's just chilling or he's just tired or he just is like, I got to talk to him. We got to talk because, when Michael Jordan had to retire, you could just see it like, it might be about time. You got nothing more to prove. You were the best player for the longest, but he could surprise you and just be like, I ain't done yet. It's all up to him. It's all up to him.
When you play at that level from when Terrence started really 12?
He played with me. He played for me at Showtime. Terrence was about 11, 12. And he's playing with the Zoo Crew. Then he played with Tim Thomas All-Stars. A lot of people don't know that. Remember the big boy Bynum that the Lakers had in the Sixers and he
Yeah.
never played? It was Bynum, Terrence, and the kid Zubek that went to Duke. They all played on one team in Jersey for the Tim Thomas All-Stars. And, like Terrence been balling. Terrence been killing kids since he was 5 years old, playing with 7, 8-year-olds down in the
Right.
Eastern Boys and Girls Club. Brian, shout out to my boy Brian Brennan. Brian used to update me all the time, like, yo, this kid's killing, as a little kid. So Terrence was born with a basketball in his hand. He slept with a basketball in his hand. So at the end of the day, he had a long ass, basketball life.
Right.
But God forbid any severe injuries.
Yeah.
He can walk away, with his head held up high, like he had a great fucking career. Even though he didn't get to where he wanted to be, which was the league. But at the end of the day, you got paid to play for, I think, 12 years.
Yeah.
12 years, you got paid to play. So, it's all about what you do at the end of it. How you set yourself up for after basketball. And that's where he's at now. He has to think about, okay, do I got another, 3 to 5 in me to set myself up? Or am I ready to set myself up now? Or what the situation may be. But don't get me wrong. Like, it don't matter. Like, if we go to Philly tomorrow, I'm taking him with me. He's going to be, because Terrence just got a switch that if I want to kill you right now, like, I'll give you 30 easily. Then he has his days where it's like, bro, you look like the worst player on the court. Because mentally, he's just like, fuck it,
Yeah.
So, we had, like, when he was 12, when he was 11, 12, and he played for me at Valania Park in the youth league, I had my Showtime basketball team, and he would just dominate. And he was actually younger than, younger in the league. And Braswell was actually younger than him.
Right.
So, they both played for me. I think Braswell was maybe 11, 12 years old. T was like 12. Yeah, I think. But they're younger by, I think they're younger by like months or something like that. But yeah, man, it's just, I don't know what he's gonna do, what his plans are. I gotta hit him up. He was playing with the legends, Lehigh Valley legends. Then they lied and tried to say they released him on Twitter. So that's why I put that comment on there.
I didn't even say I'm about to go check it out.
It was on D11 Hoops or something like that. It's called D11 Hoops. When they put it on Twitter talking about they released him and all that. But that wasn't true. He had stopped playing 2-3 games prior to that, basically because they owed him money. And I know for a fact they owed him money because I deal with them people, and he called me up and, he was furious, So there's a lot of stuff going on with that. But like I said, it is what it is. Whether he chooses to go back over the water, next season, he can do that. He's still getting calls. He still got his agent. They still call and trying to set him up with jobs. So I told him. I really wanted him to play in DR, though. If he'd have played in DR, I'd have been over there for like 2 weeks. I'd have been over there with
a little vacation.
Yeah, I'd have been over there for like 2 weeks. I'm like, damn, he was there for like a week. He's like, nah, this shit corny. I'm out. But
listen, it wouldn't be Spittin' with Spitter. What are you listening to right now? Because I know you still work out. I know you're still in the gym. What are you listening to right now? Better question, before you tell me that, is there any new music that you're listening to? This generation's music? No.
Fuck no.
Me neither.
No, bro, I can't. I can't. Like, the crazy shit is, like, when I'm riding with my kids they're 17. Obviously, they're twins. They're 17. So they're in my car. They're in my truck when they're riding, and I let them control the music. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, fuck are they talking about? Everybody's talking about the same shit.
Right.
Okay. But I'm like, yo, like, so I'll be like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm DJ today. You know what I mean? So I'm putting on my old school. I'm putting on my 90s. I'm putting on my Biggie. I'm putting on, and they're like, but not for nothing. My kids learned a lot of old school music through me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember I first introduced my son to Michael Jackson back in the day when he was a little kid. He fucking loves Michael Jackson music. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, he'll listen to Mike. Like I said, but today, like when I'm in the gym, it's like I'll throw on one of my playlists from 90s hip hop and R&B. Sometimes I'm in there listening to fucking freestyle music. It depends on where my mind is at. I'll go in there, bro. Listen, there's been days I've been in the gym listening to fucking slow jams, the Isley Brothers. Like I said, it all depends on where my mind's at or what I want to listen to, what kind of zone I'm in. You know what I mean? So, the newest I probably go is probably like early 2000s with the music.
It's where my cutoff is.
Yeah, probably early 2000s.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. There's some new music. There's two artists. I listen to Sue Surf, kid from Jersey. I listen to Mozzie, kid from Cali. That's it, though. You know what I mean? And
yeah, there's one. I mean, obviously, no, I'm not. J. Cole, I'm gonna listen to because J. Cole's flow is just to me is just
Yeah. Well, I like J. Cole.
Yeah, I fuck with J. Cole. I listen to his flow. Yeah, I mean, because I can understand him for one, and he got stories. Even like Kendrick. I listen to Kendrick. Kendrick's just dope to me. Like, what I mean, he a little cuckoo sometimes, but he dope. But all them little babies and little Dirk and little this motherfucker ain't no big people no more. What the fuck? They all little. Like, this shit is annoying.
Yep.
So I'm like, I don't even know who is who. Like, I be sitting here, yeah, my son was like, yeah, Dad, that's Polo G. I'm like, Polo G? Like, fuck he came from? You know what I mean? G-Rap? Like, that's the only G I know. Like,
that G-Rap kid?
Yeah, like, the fuck is Polo G? But then he be like, nah, you gotta listen to him. So I'm listening to him. I'm trying to give him the chance. But my thing is, though, T, I don't listen to it enough. Like, it can come on 1 minute, and a month later, that same song come on, I'll be like, who's that? Like, because I'm not familiar with it because I don't listen to it enough. But even though I'll be like, yo, this should be corny to me. Like, I can't get into it. And if I can't get into it, I'm not gonna listen to it. That's why I said, like, all my playlists are old school, whether it's freestyle, R&B, slow jams, even reggae, old school reggae.
Same.
Even fucking, bro, I will listen to old school reggaeton. You know what I mean? I will listen to that. They got a couple of new reggaeton artists that, the beats is dope right now. If you don't say a goddamn thing, you might get me. But as soon as you go to open in your mouth, I'm done. Because for one, I already don't understand you. But for two, I think you're talking about that same shit that motherfuckers be talking about in English. I ain't trying to hear that. Because everybody done killed everybody. They done sold drugs to everybody. They got all these cars, all these jewelry, all these women. Like, there's not enough in the world.
No.
For all you motherfuckers to be saying that. Because, ain't nobody, it's crazy. Factual. Like, everybody's talking about the same shit. There's no storylines. There's nothing. It doesn't take my mind anywhere. Like, I know J. Cole takes my mind. You know what I mean? There's this one new dude. I follow him on Facebook. Oh, man, I can't remember his name. He came out with it's called The GOAT. You might have heard it. He just came out with a song called The GOAT. If you look that up on YouTube, because he's on every platform now. And he's dope. Like, he's old school. Like, every word, every lyric I can understand. And then when he's rhyming, he's telling stories and he's putting you in places.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And he's
I'm
not
talking, check it out.
He's not talking the dumb shit. You feel me?
Right.
So that's why I'm like, I'd be
there's
up
a
3
kid
o'clock in the morning listening to him.
There's a kid that's on Kendrick's label. I think his name's like Ray Vaughn. And he's like a real storyteller, like J. Cole, and he's dope to me. But I haven't given none of these new guys enough time to, you know.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, you couldn't get me to listen to Little Baby or Little Dirk or Da Baby. I mean, Da Baby got how many charges and ain't went to jail. I don't know, man. These motherfuckers is different. They're different. So I can't get it.
That's a whole different episode. How you get all them charges
I'm
you ain't get locked up yet.
I'm gonna ask you this though. Do you still listen to R. Kelly?
No.
You don't listen to R. Kelly?
No.
I bumped the fuck out of R. Kelly.
Really?
Yeah. The reason why I say that is because no matter what, you cannot get R. Kelly's music out of your mind. And for two, R. Kelly didn't do it. Robert did it. You feel me?
Yeah.
Robert did it. R. Kelly
Right.
didn't do it. Robert
Right.
did it. Lock Robert ass the fuck up. But the music, the mind, the R. Kelly, nah.
I can't lie. The other day, I had my old school playlist on, and Ron Isley's "Contagious" came on with R.
I was
Kelly,
just listening to that today in the gym. I was listening to that. That and
and
Busted.
that's one of them that I probably never be able to not listen to.
And that's the thing though, like, cause once you know it, you know the music.
Yeah.
But once it hits you, it's like you gotta sing the shit. Like I be in
Right.
my truck driving, listening to the Chocolate Factory. I'm like, ain't nobody in this bitch. I ain't turning it off. You know what I mean? I ain't turning it off.
I'll put it to you like that. I don't consciously go looking for R. Kelly to listen to.
Right. Now that's something I don't do either. I don't let me find this R. Kelly. No. You know what I mean? Like Michael Jackson, at least 3 times a week, I'm listening to some Michael Jackson. Prince, same thing. You know what I mean? R. Kelly, I probably hit him 1 time a week while I'm in the gym if I need some, you know what I mean, something to like, you know, to get me going. You know,
Right.
or, you know, I mean, just a lot of R. Kelly got a lot of fucking music, you know, and it's like it's wherever you want to go. But like you said, I'm not going to search for R. Kelly. Like I got a whole playlist on my phone, R. Kelly, everything. I don't go to it, you know what I mean? But if I'm listening to YouTube and one of his songs come through, I'm gonna listen to it. You know?
Right.
It's just hard to fast forward, step in the name of love. Like, yeah, I ain't gonna listen. Nah, I'm gonna go back and listen to that shit. Like, it's tough. You know what I mean? Because it's fucking dope. You know, but at the same time, like I said, you know,
in hindsight, some of the names of his songs are quite questionable.
bro, if you listen to some of his music, and now I'll be like, oh, that nigga did it. That nigga did it. He did it. Like, this nigga's weird. This motherfucker's crazy. He deserves life. You know, when you break down his lyrics and shit, like this nigga was telling us this shit for years. You know, but we didn't get it. We wasn't looking for it. We wasn't expecting it. You know,
and bam.
Oh,
yikes! But listen, Jules, my brother, I appreciate you all as always coming on.
No doubt, man.
We're gonna have you come back on to make the announcement soon when you're ready.
Yeah. Yep. I definitely will fill you in and let you know. But like I said, we'll talk off, you know, about what I got going on.
For sure. Listen, we are out of here. Spittin with Spitter. We'll be back next Wednesday with another guest. Don't go nowhere because I need that news. But I'm gonna end the show right now. Peace, y'all.
All right, man. Peace out.